Hey, what's up, everybody? BDF 44 coming to another video. All right, so here's another therapy session I'm gonna do. I want to take my walk. I plan on taking my walk. I'm going to take my walk, but I'm trying to also utilize time to keep moving, as I said in the other video, trying to make sure I do what I need to do. So I'm looking up everything that otherwise would be anxious about looking up: apartments, solutions of mental health stuff. Anything that can help me. What else? Just about everything I can think of. Eviction information, finding out all the stuff that I was just simply refusing to look at. So, what I found is it all points back to you got to see a doctor first. Every bit of my situation points at before you can find any solutions for anything, you have to prove that your mental health is not where it needs to be, because that's the source of all of my problems is an undiagnosed um, disability, I guess is what I call her, disabling mental struggle, whatever the hell you want to call it. It is something that's been plaguing me my entire life. I've never gotten help for it. Now I need to do a lot of things that require me to be able to prove that I have this problem. So it is what it is. The very thing that kept things not working so well is what affected me not getting that help, and why that's not accounted for in anything that I've read is really strange. What about the people whose mental illness won't allow them to get help? What about those people who didn't get treatment because they're afraid of being pumped full of drugs and turned into zombies? One of the main things they said about getting disability is you have to follow all of your doctor's orders, including take all of your medication. Well, that's why I didn't get help. I don't want any damn medication. And I think most people who are ill likely are concerned about medication, not because they don't think some medication will be good for them, but because we're skeptical about any medication that they give us being good for us. And that's the main thing. If I believe they were going to give me some holistic stuff that actually went well with my body, some Dr. Sebi approved type stuff, rest in peace to the great Dr. Sebi, then I'd obviously be very excited about taking whatever the hell they had to give me. But given the fact that they're on some Sorloff's $billion marketing money, pay the doctor to give you this drug even though that drug is bad for you type nonsense, and I watched my mother go through that when she was dealing with cancer, I've been hesitant to want to go anywhere near any one of these idiots. No disrespect to anyone. So it is what it is. That is what's kept me from getting help. That's what's keeping me from feeling as good about being able to walk into any of these situations and tell my truth. My truth is I didn't work because I was disabled of the mind. Didn't feel like I could work without being suicidal. It's God's honest truth. And now I need to go back to work to prove that I can make a way for myself. Otherwise, I won't have a place to stay. Well, guess what? I don't feel any more equipped to go to work today than I did back then. But I do feel more equipped to be able to get some help. But the problem is, where from and with what time left do I have to do that? With my circumstance being as it is, with so many different steps that need to be taken just to extend my stay here, or otherwise I'm stuck. So I got to look for a place, look for help, look for various circumstances that will align with that, including finding a way to get a job so I can prove that I have some income, so that I go to these apartments that I'm looking for and actually have some proof of income, for which is not there because I haven't been working. You see how this all comes back around in my mental health and the need to prove that I have something wrong with me, and knows of no valuable way to do so, or viable is the way. So the world is not meant for me. Not people like myself. Not for people who are alone, who have a mental illness that requires them to overthink certain situations, that allow for them to stay away from certain solutions, etc. Whatever my specific mental illness is, I am nestled right in position to not get any help whatsoever for myself. That is the exact truth. That is a funny situation in a sense, because I do these therapy sessions. So that is kind of what I had in mind when I first started it, is that I didn't have any help. I didn't know what I was dealing with. I didn't feel like I had any idea how to get the help. So I figured I would just do my therapy sessions on YouTube and let the world see what it is that I think is a very unique and specific mindset and problem, or what have you. And so after 363, or what is it, 364 entries of this, I'm pretty sure there's enough documented evidence of my mental health at this point to prove to any and all people that I've struggled with something, at least that I perceive has been disabling. The problem is, only you know that, not the people who necessarily need to know that, to provide me the help that I need to fix myself and my circumstance. So as you can see by my eyes, I'm worn down. I'm tired, and I haven't even left the house yet, but I definitely plan on getting out there and walking around. I just want to have a destination when I do so. What I want to know is, excuse me for picking my nose, that's not a part of my mental health concern. But nevertheless, one of the things that I know I need to do is get down to somewhere to contact some lawyer to ask them about the information necessary to extend my eviction process. Upon Thursday, we already know the steps, but I need to know how much I pay up front in order to keep myself in the mix for that type of grace. I told the courts about my undiagnosed situation in the trial, so for what it's worth, it's documented that I have told people, both written and verbally, that there is such a thing that would have tumbled all of this into being a reality for us all. So that's really what it is. I am in this position because of certain decisions that I made while being depressed, anxious, and all different other types of things that I've been dealing with my entire life. I don't think that those things necessarily drove me into this position. No, I don't believe so, but it kept me in it to where I didn't find solutions within it once finding myself in it, I guess is what I'm saying. So doing all this with a lot of support from my family, friends hitting me up, so I even though I'm alone, I'm not alone in regards to who's rooting for me and trying to see me do well. And I'm very appreciative of that. And I want to give a lot of credit to those people on camera. Thank you all for your support. But at the same time, this is on my shoulders alone. And I'm just pretty tired, overwhelmed, worn out is the word. Would like not to have to be dealing with all this, but knowing just the same that I created it for myself. So I own it. And I don't blame anybody for that necessarily at all, really. Choices made. You get what you get. So that is what's going on here, man. Trying to keep it moving, trying to stay moving, trying to provide myself any opportunity at knowledge and understanding as to what my options would be. And so that's what I've been spending the last 30 minutes doing. Set up an appointment to go see an apartment downtown. So hopefully that goes well. But the problem is that I spoke to a friend of mine who helped me understand the likelihood that they would rent to me because of my specific circumstance. Now, she didn't deter me from going down there, but she did want me to temper my expectations as it pertains to her understanding of what these things are about versus my not so understanding. And so I have a more tempered expectation. The problem is, am I wasting time going down there? Because if I could be at several other different places instead of trekking down there with the days that I have left, I can't be making empty trips. So that's what it really comes down to. If I can't necessarily secure that's a meaningful trip, if I'm just going to get turned away anyway, that's a waste of a couple hours. I need to be doing other things, given Thursday is fast approaching. So giving it to God, man. It is what it is. And, I'm not the only person going through this, so I don't sit here and act like I got the worst cards or whatever, hand of cards, but at the same time, it's it's a lot, man. It's a lot, and I'm trying to manage it, but ain't a whole lot getting done by myself, and that is the disheartening part about it thus far. But nevertheless, drawing the support from those who are lending it my way, and we'll continue to keep you guys updated on what we're doing, trying to race against the clock and get as much of this done as once. That's it, man. I'm proud of myself for responding to it the way that I am. Definitely appreciate the maturity and the way that it's building my character and making me endure. And I just understand I'm not the only person going through something. There's a lot of people out there in these moments right now while I'm going through something who are just going through the mud, because that's just kind of what 2023 is throwing at a lot of people at once. So I want to let people know that if you see the fear, the wear down and the fear in my face for the circumstances ahead, just know that I'm rooting for you to overcome what you're up against as well. And we're going to get through this together, whether it's favorable for us or not. We're going to move forward, and we're going to keep moving. And so that's what I want to encourage everybody to keep moving. And that's what it is. I'm going to get back to it, man. This ain't going to be a long therapy session. I'll have time to do that later when we get outside and get some fresh air. But for now, I'm going to get back to what I was doing and try to be as productive as I can with the urgency and the pressures adhering to at heart. I don't think that's how you say that, but trying to meet the moment. So that's what it is, man. That is it. BDF 44. Thank you all for watching.